Let's do this. Waiting for the live stream to set up. 2 in a row. We'll try to get this done very quickly. This is a POTUS report. I was just live a minute ago, and we'll see how this works. So, hi, everybody. Make sure I'm recording, yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the GoldFish Report. I'm your host, Louisa. Today is Sunday, January 19th, 2020. This is our week 156 POTUS report. It's our GoldFish report number 342. No, sorry, 442. What am I writing here? I can't believe I said that. 432. I'm sorry, folks. 442. I'm so confused. I should start over, but it's live and I can't, so forget it. Hi, Alabama. Who's joining us from Alabama? Let's see. Sina. Hi, Sina. How are you? Okay, now that we've got that down, 442. 442. Sorry about that. A little hectic day. This is a POTUS report. We're going to start discussing what the president of the United States has done for the past week. We're going to start on our blog, of course, on the GoldFish Report blog. I'm going to screen share this. I'm not going to be looking much at the comments while I'm screen sharing because I cannot see that screen. So starting last Monday, we have, of course, a new series that GoldFish Report is doing. It's called Political Theater. So this is with, of course, my co-host Jim Fetzer. So please keep an eye out for that. And it is basically all political theater, folks. We're going to then go to the following day, which is the Tuesday, the 14th. And the president's going to be talking a lot about immigration on this day. So we're going to share this information. So the wall is going up and illegal immigration is down. Americans spent years telling Washington to fix our country's broken immigration system, but career politicians ignored the will of voters and pushed solutions that left special interests happy and most citizens frustrated. So, as you know, the 100th mile of the border wall was announced on Friday, a milestone achievement, according to the acting Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf, which is really great news. I can't go into this in a lot of details, folks, because there's a lot to report on, and we want to try to make these POTUS reports short for you. We have there is an undeniable, the wall is an undeniable impediment to human smugglers, drug traffickers, and other criminals who have exploited our lack of effective border infrastructure. Very true. A lot of trafficking through those borders for sure. So the president listened, and he had responded. So, of course, you have Larry Kudlow here on a financial report. The jobs report's very good. And the headline numbers is it's a 50-year low, unemployment remaining at a 50-year low at 3.5%. U.S. economy is firing on all cylinders, according to the administration. Okay, a lot of good things to report there. You can go to our blog at thegoldfishreport.blogspot.com and check out all of these in more detail, because there's links here to other articles that you might want to read. Okay, so I'm going to stop screen sharing that one and go to the next day. So on Wednesday, we're talking about, this is landmark. This is the landmark signing of the phase 1 of the China deal, the China trade deal, which all the Democrats said was never going to happen. I was at the White House reporting when this was happening, when we were talking to during these press gaggles, when I was talking to Larry Kudlow, and the Democrat media that was there, really kind of provoking him and trying to, get some sort of, they were like antagonizing him and Larry Kudlow, and of course Secretary Mnuchin as well, trying to say that this is, not going to happen. It's not possible. We can't trust China. Trump can't do this. It's not going to happen. And here it is, folks. Promises kept. President Trump signs landmark phase 1 deal. This is huge, folks. From day one, his administration fought tirelessly to achieve a level playing field for the American worker. And if you understand trade, it has everything to do with the stabilization of our currency and, of course, the revaluing of the currencies. When there's fair trade among all countries, then you can have a revaluation of the currencies and have fair trade. When there's currency manipulation, which is involved in this China trade deal, there's it took China off of the currency manipulator list. That's one of the things that it did. But there's a lot of gray areas regarding the currency deal. I don't have all of those details. I would like to see that, to be honest. But great news for American workers, American made products. So the new agreement makes good on a number of key promises to fix trade with China. American made products. To help rebalance the relationship, China has pledged to increase imports of American goods and services by at least 200 billion. Agriculture purchases. As part of that commitment, China will be stocking up on goods from US farmers between 40 and 50 billion dollars worth. Excellent for our economy. No more forced technology transfers. For the first time ever, China agreed to end its practice of forcing American companies to transfer their technology to Chinese companies as a condition for doing business there. And fair currency practices, which we were just talking about. Beijing has agreed to stronger commitments on its practices regarding currency devaluations and exchange rates. That's just phase one. The work on phase two deal is already underway. With this signing, we mark more than just an agreement. We mark a sea change in international trade. At long last, Americans have the government that puts them first at the negotiating table. Couldn't do it with anybody else. Career politicians and actual politicians who became president never got the job done. President Trump is not a politician. He doesn't play ball. He's not. You can't corrupt him. You can't pay him off. He's doing the right thing for America. So this is great news. And here is the photo of the day with Premier Liu He signing the phase one of the China trade deal. And that's a wonderful, wonderful accomplishment for our president. Here we also have a statement by the press secretary on the injunction prohibiting responsible refugee settlement. Folks, it's loaded with stuff. You got to go in here and take a look at it. He wants to recognize that communities are unique while some cities have resources to adequately support refugees. So there's, definitely wants to level the playing field in terms of the cost for that. Two different neighborhoods and communities. These are details. This is the remarks by the president regarding the phase one China deal. Come and take a look at this transcript. It's worth noting, folks, to come and take a look at the conversation that the president had here. Let's see, what else do we have? There's several. Yeah, there's several transcripts here, so you might want to just go through this. Wednesday was a big day, so you might want to go through this and take a look at all these transcripts and what was going on. President also was announcing the judicial nominees. As you know, the president is also trying to restore the constitutional rule of law in our country by appointing judges who are going to uphold the Constitution and interpret the Constitution as written. So here we have another one for the Southern District of Texas, Drew Tipton of Texas. That's a wonderful to see that as well. And of course, he's signing landmark phase one trade deal with China. This is what we're talking about. Let's see. Okay, China will also address numerous longstanding intellectual property concerns in the area of trade secrets, trademarks, enforcement against pirated and counterfeited goods at home. This has been, certainly eating into the profits of companies who are trying to make a profit and are being undermined by counterfeit products. So the agreement also China agreed to strong commitments on currency practices regarding currency devaluations, exchange rates. The agreement addressed a wide range of trade and investment barriers that have prevented American financial services companies from being able to compete in China. So that was also part of it. the agreement addressed structural barriers that have unfairly limited United States food and agricultural exports and pertaining to agricultural biotechnology. So rebalancing trade, this is what it's all about, and giving opportunities for putting America first. That's what the president said. Promises made, promises kept, and this is what he's doing. So come and take a look at this. And okay, we're going to go back to the illegal immigrant crossing again. I know we're kind of going back and forth, but that's just how it kind of came out in the report here. This impeachment, folks, get ready. This is, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's her delay in transmitting articles of impeachment against the president to the Senate was never going to result in what anti-Trump activists demanded, but it further eroded the credibility of the impeachment process by reinforcing the perception that is nothing but partisan political theater. This is what it is. It's all on partisan lines at this point. So there's lots of other good things going on. The U.S. economy is at its best since in 50 years. And also Ivanka Trump says the White House is committed to ending human trafficking, which we know. That's one of the reasons the wall is going up. That's why he signed that executive order on December 21st, 2017 regarding seizing assets and property of people who are involved in human trafficking and crimes against humanity. So, the president and Ivanka Trump has been very dedicated to ending human trafficking. You can go here and take a look at more if you like. So we'll go to the following day now on Thursday. And of course, this was another important milestone, for the president, talking about protecting religious freedom. And here we have a policy call, which you can go and take a look at all of the details of the call. But this has to do with National Religious Freedom Day. And, the president wants to make sure that everyone has the right to practice their religion. And I believe also that here he says, including the First Amendment and the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. So I believe we're going to have prayer back allowed in school as a result of this. So that's good news. The China trade deal, there's more information about that, Religious Freedom Day. You can go to the blog and take a look at that. And I'm going to then go on to the next day, which, tomorrow is not only that rally down in Richmond, Virginia, which I just published another live stream on. Folks, be very careful. Don't get in trouble there. It's a trap. It's going to be a trap. There's reports that Antifa is going to be there. Be careful. It's going to be a mess. You just know it's going to be a hot mess. So be very careful. Also, if you go, realize that they can classify you as a domestic terrorist, and doing that, you may not be entitled to the right of an attorney to represent you, or a due process for that matter. Be very, very careful what you're going to do if you go down there. Here we have the proclamation for Monday, 2020, February 20th, rather. Federal holiday. This is Martin Luther King federal holiday. This is the proclamation. Remembering, free at last. We can never forget that we must never let these people's sacrifices and dedication go in vain. We have to always honor the civil rights movement. And, I think Rosa Parks should be in here too, quite honestly. She's one of my heroes, and a woman after my own heart. And honestly, we need to remember the life and the sacrifice of the people who did fight for our civil rights, everybody's civil rights, because it's for everybody. Okay, President Trump, but especially for the African American community, particularly. Okay, so we have the president approving another disaster. Poor Puerto Rico. There's a riot down there right now because they found a warehouse with emergency relief supplies that apparently the government down there, the politicians down there, were not distributing to folks during their time of need. And they're pretty mad. They're really quite mad. But anyway, the president approved the Puerto Rico disaster declaration down there. So that's also in the news. So you know that it's one of our territories, and you know that the president is obviously doing what he can to help. This has to do with safeguarding the rights to religious freedom for students and organizations as well. So here we have it, protecting prayer in public schools. This is what I was just talking about. Let me just make sure that I am screen sharing this, and I can't see your chat. I can't see your comments in the chat yet until I stop the screen share, but I'll take a look as soon as I'm done. Protecting prayer in public schools, folks. Hallelujah, it's come back. I think it's a great thing. Can't, when you have, think mirror, right? When you have, a dark force who wants to deny the presence of God, right? Deny everything that's godly. It's good to see God coming back in our classroom and allowing God to be part of our lives, in school again. Not by any means forcing it on anybody, but that it's a freedom that you can have. So that's wonderful. The president is protecting that. That's important. So here, the Trump administration is taking action to further safeguard students' constitutionally protected right to pray in school. So that's wonderful. So anybody who wants to pray. Okay, federal funds for that, promoting equal treatment. So you can go take a look at this. But it's, I think a lot of people are going to be very happy to hear about this championing, I'm sorry, religious freedom. That's what it's about. We've already, President Trump signed an executive order upholding religious liberty and the right to engage in religious speech, signed an executive order recognizing the essential contributions of faith-based organizations and establishing the Faith and Opportunity Initiative. President Trump reversed the Obama-era policy that prevented the government from providing disaster relief to religious organizations. Can you believe that? Did you know that? That's right. Last year, President Trump hosted a global call to protect religious freedom event at the United Nations and called on the international community and business leaders to work to protect religious freedom around the world. This is the president of the people. Finally, folks, a president of the people, by the people. We elected him for the people. For us, for America first, finally. And he's not going to be bought. You're not going to see him collecting $10 million to take a terrorist country off the terror watch list. He's not going to do it. There's many other things here, folks, that you can look at. This has to do with the announcement of guidance on constitutional prayer in public schools. There's more information on that. And then let's continue to go so we can make this as short as possible. That's what I'm trying to do. Screen share this next one. This is, what day is this? Saturday, January 18th. Okay, so that was yesterday. Statement from the president on the 60th anniversary of the United States-Japan Treaty of Mutual Cooperation and Security. Over the past 6 decades, the rock-solid alliance between our two great nations has been essential to peace, security, and prosperity for the United States, Japan, and the Indo-Pacific region around the world. So these are including, Shinzo Abe, the prime minister, and the foreign minister, Toshimitsu Motegi, and defense minister Taro Kono. So here we have it, and we also have a few more things from this day. Let me see if I can scroll down. Okay. The Honorable Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, hereby responds to the articles of impeachment submitted by House Democrats are a dangerous attack on the right of the people, of the American people, to freely choose their president. This is a brazen and unlawful attempt to overturn the results of the 2016 election and interfere with the 2020 election, now just months away. The highly partisan and reckless obsession with impeaching the president began the day he was inaugurated and continues to this day. And there's a hyperlink here. You can read his full answer to this. This is absolutely right, folks. This would nullify our vote. If they succeeded with this, Congress would overrule and usurp the will of the American people. Just let that sit with you for a minute. Does that sound like tyranny to you? Because it is. So, be very careful. Watch what's going on here. This should concern every single one of us. And of course, we also have photos of the week, as we always do, ending the week. We have wonderful, beautiful photos of the president, the first lady, escorted from Marine One by members of the military to their trip to New Orleans for the game down there. And look at the first lady just looking fabulous as usual, not getting any credit. She should be on the cover of Vogue, but if Vogue is like part of these, Democrats, then you don't need Vogue. Who needs Vogue anyway, right? It's all frou-frou. So anyway, but we're going to show how beautiful and wonderful she is. Here they are disembarking from the plane up here on the corner from Air Force One. Here they are in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, arriving before the national anthem. They're waving at the college football playoff national championship, and of course she looks wonderful as usual, and the president. And here they are walking onto the field. Look how lovely they look. They're such a beautiful couple. I just love them. I do. I think they're such a beautiful couple, and we need to pray for their safety every day, folks. Pray for their safety because they're working very, very hard for us. More pictures of the president and the first lady there with ROTC members. And Pledge of Allegiance. There you have it. Absolutely. Look how beautiful she is. Wonderful. And he's a proud man. Look at that. I would be too. So she's very, very, look at how beautiful she is. That's what America's about. We are a melting pot. What does it mean to be American? I think it's a little different for everybody, but it's about freedom. That's the bottom line. And our freedom is at risk, folks. And don't let that slip away from our fingers, through our fingers. It's very serious. All right, Vice President Mike Pence talks with staffers in the Eisenhower Executive Office building on Monday. There you have it. Getting business done. He meets with the vice president, meets with family members of the military aide, United States Army Lieutenant Colonel Vincent Enriquez, before participating in his promotion ceremony. How lovely. It looks like his wife and son there as well, actually. Little boy. And here you have, look at that, oath of office. Vice President Mike Pence signs the oath of office script for swearing-in ceremony of United States Space Force Chief of Space Operations, General John J. Raymond, Tuesday, January 14th. Big deal, folks. Very big deal. Space Force operations. We're going to be focusing a lot on that on the GoldFish Report. We're going to be following space policy as we have always been, and we're going to be reporting on space policy and keeping an eye on what's going on in this department, as well as the Office of the President as well. There he is, the Vice President and the new Chief of Space Operations, John Raymond, and his wife Molly at the swearing-in ceremony. Look at that. Very interesting. Very interesting. We're very happy to see this new development, United States Space Force. All right. Very, very good. And then here we have Mike Pence greeting employees at Culver's Restaurant in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They're all very happy to see him. And here's more of Mike Pence, more photos of his trip. And here is Chinese Vice Premier Liu He. Let's see, President Trump and Chinese Vice Premier Li He read a letter to President Trump from Chinese President Xi Jinping in the Oval Office at the White House. So it's very nice. This is a big deal. The trade deal is done, phase one. And there they are walking down the colonnade of the White House. And this is good. I think, our president, like I said, promises made, promises kept, making, the art of the deal, making the deals, getting the job done. And of course, there they are, of course, standing there as well in the for a photo op. and more photo ops there. So these are the photos of the week, folks, and you have another press conference here reading during the signing ceremony. Wonderful stuff. Go to the blog, take a look. You can see all these pictures here at the blog. I'm just going to scroll through it real quick so we can get to the end. Here's the handshake. Art of the deal. That's what you're looking at right there. That is the master deal maker. And we are so lucky to have him as our president because he, if anybody, knows how to make a deal. So everybody has to win. It's got to be a win-win for everybody. How brilliant he is. And here's a luncheon that they had with the Chinese delegation. Beautiful. Would have loved to have been there. For the GoldFish Report would have loved to have been there. And he signed, it looks like the president signed the invitation. It's very funny. And there's more of these photos here, folks. A lot of other good things going on. And come and take a look at the GoldFish Report .blogspot.com. Here you have the president announces the guidance on constitutional prayer in public school. There you have it. Prayer back in school. So, folks, I'm going to end it here, I think, unless there's one more. Do I have one more page? Back, yeah. There is another page here regarding the impeachment fiasco. So maybe I'll just share that real quick, and then I'm going to end this report. I'm sorry, I'm not able to see the chat because I'm on screen share and I can't see it in the screen share mode. But Mr. Gidley, who is the press deputy press secretary there, says talks about from a procedural standpoint, we're going to be filling in the next hour or two to answer the summons. What is the summons? The summons that was as part of the process that the Senate sent over to us with the articles of impeachment. We are issuing a very detailed response. This is not to be confused with our brief. Our brief is not due until Monday. So look, they're actually making the president respond. These are legal briefs now at this point. This is unheard of, unprecedented, folks. Unprecedented hoax on the American people. The response that we will be putting forward will address both the procedural and the substantive issue raised in the articles of impeachment. When I talk about the procedural aspects, I'm referring to the procedural irregularities that took place during the course of the investigation. When we talk about substance, we're referring to legal threshold standards, and it relates to impeachment under the Constitution. Of course, the fact that the president was denied all due process, should invalidate the entire thing, and hopefully that's what will do it, because he has to have due process. The answer, our response, will respond to both of those issues. So I'll give you a taste of it. So he's saying that the articles of impeachment, yeah, actually, I just read this. Yeah, it's what I just read, actually. And next, they're going to assert that the articles of impeachment are constitutionally invalid on their face. They fail to allege any crime or violation of law whatsoever, let alone high crimes or misdemeanors, which is true. It's a fact. This is all required by the Constitution itself. So this is big stuff, folks. Come and take a look at it. There's no case. The fact that they're doing this is wasting our time, they're not getting any business done. They're not cooperating on anything. Yeah, the USMCA deal was also passed, but that was already done. It was just waiting for their signature. So come and take a look at this. There's a lot of details about this. We're going to go into this. I'm going to go into this probably in a special report just on the impeachment itself. So I'm going to stop right there. And for those of you who are viewing, hi guys, thank you so much. I wasn't able to say hello. Hello, AH Justice from Holland. So thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, it is tyranny. And I don't know what people are thinking out there. Slim, thank you. Yeah, thank you for all of your wonderful comments in the comments section. Yeah, Congress shall make no laws without the consent of the people. Hello. All government is driven from the people. Thank you, Slim. I appreciate your comments in the comments section. He's got it down. You've got it, my friend. Hi, Sherry. How are you? I'm so glad you're there. I'm glad you're all there, actually. I really appreciate all of our viewers. Slim, you're on it, man. You've really been doing your homework. Look at this man. Look how he's posting all of this, the definition of these things. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so proud of all of you. I really, hi, Sherry. I see you. Thanks for sending me that email. I got it. I like that it was a transcript of Field's call. Yeah, definitely. So thanks for sending that, sister. I appreciate it. So folks, that's it. It's 5:55 now, and I've got to go take my little ones out to some event that they have to go to. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Sherry. To everybody, actually. But I adore her. She's such a good person. Um, yeah, I'm still itching. I know. It still itches. I still have this condition on my skin from the microwaves. I believe that they are microwaves. I've been targeted many times. I've had really, really, really bad burns on my face. And, it's the wintertime. We just don't get burns up in the East Coast. It's terrible. But yeah, it is a fake impeachment scam. Yep, don't worry. I know. But this is optics. Q has always said optics. He always talks about optics. And it just has to play out. This corruption in the government has to play out for the people who are asleep. Not my viewers. Our viewers are well educated and well informed. You all know what's going on. We're talking about for the people who watch ABC and NBC News every day. I'm sorry, but that is who we're talking about. It certainly is who we're talking about. We're talking about the sleepwalkers, the ones who are just believe everything they see on television, despite the fact that the president's talked about fake news for quite a long time now. That's right. Thanks. Thanks. I'm trying to stay safe, but reporting the truth puts me in harm's way. I've had death threats. I've had all kinds of things happen, and I stand strong. It's like you have to stand up for truth. We're at a point where we're at war, and if you don't stand up for our rights and our freedoms, we're going to lose them. And freedom of the press is one of them. And so I have to keep reporting the truth. Although, as Orwell said, the truth, it will become illegal, and it essentially is when you see the kind of censorship that they're doing on all the social media platforms. There are limitations to free speech, though, folks. Go check out my bullet points on the First Amendment, a bullet point presentation that I did. I did the first half on YouTube and the second half, which is really a whole literature review of the constitutional law on it. Go take a look at it. It's like a few bucks if you want to rent it, because it's a very extensive academic review really of the law regarding the First Amendment and its limitations. There are limitations to it, and when you read through it, you'll understand why. And I think many people would agree with it. That just any speech, hateful, threatening, violent speech. Should be prohibited. That's not, that's not necessary. That's hate and it incites violence. So they're like violent words. But I go through all of it in the bullet points on Vimeo. So you could go on Vimeo. All of these links are on our page, folks, at the goldfishreport.com. So on our front page of our website, all of the links are there to access all of our media. We don't just do these these reports. The Goldfish Report is a almost 24/7 news source. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. We have educational videos on Vimeo. We are on BitChute. We're on YouTube. We have a blog. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere. So it's a lot to organize. It's a lot to keep up. And we have a dedication to wanting to keep people informed. And that's what we're trying to do. Oh, great. Hi, Norway. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. We send our reports over to Norway all the time. It's 6 p.m. It's almost midnight there in Norway. So the land of the midnight sun. I want to go to Norway. I really do. I can't wait to go. I'm going to go one day. I want to go to Norway. I'll come see you, Sissel. I have some friends there too. So everybody, that's it. That's it for tonight. I have to get moseying along, and I want to thank everyone for being in the chat. Nice to see you. Yeah, I don't really have a schedule for the live streams. Because it's new for us, really. I hear what you're saying. If I know in advance I'm going to do a live stream, I'll post it on the community section of YouTube. So if you're a subscriber, you'll get that in your YouTube news feed. You'll see like the image, the community section where you can post like photos or you can post an announcement of some kind. So I usually do announce live streams in advance, but for these quick ones like this, sometimes we just wing it. So I wasn't quite sure if I was going to go live or not. I just decided kind of last minute to go live because, well, because you have to. It's breaking news. What's going on in Richmond, Virginia? So it wasn't really something I could plan. But I hear you, and I will. There will be times that there will be random live streams, but there will be other times where it will be announced, pre-announced in advance. Absolutely, and I appreciate you mentioning that comment. I will go over these comments and take a look at what everybody has to say, and I do appreciate your comments and all of your feedback, folks. I really do. Because we're doing this for you. This has always been a grassroots movement. This has always been for the people. Always Goldfish Report. So we appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much for joining me and being here in the chat. Hope you enjoyed this POTUS report. It's going to be a very interesting week coming up, folks. I may end up doing 2 POTUS reports next week. We'll see. We'll see what happens, how the news develops in many different ways. So thank you all so much for joining me. And this concludes this edition of the Goldfish Report.